Hi guys, it's Tuesday, July 13th, and I just wanted to jump on here and kind of fill you in a little bit. So basically, for the past month and a half, 2 months, I've been working toward organizing a show for spring break. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about rejection or no's or anything that might be swimming around in your head as an artist or creator with regard to this, and how you can kind of push through those barriers and just keep on trucking. So I have not gotten rejected. This is not another video where I'm going to be talking about rejection, because this is the day that I submitted the application for spring break. But before I reached this process where I decided to take control, be emboldened, and be my own curator for this show, I reached out to one of my best friends in the whole world, Claire, who happens to have been someone that I worked with for the past 10-15 years. She has curated me into dozens of shows. We have worked together for a long time. She's sold my work. She's extremely familiar with my work. Not only that, she's bought my work, but she's also pursuing her own passion right now of singing. So I reached out to her first. I already pretty much knew that she really wouldn't want to take on the job of curating this show. Just to kind of rewind a little bit, Spring Break is an art show that is hosted in New York, and it's a really, really cool art show. I actually covered it in one of my previous videos, which I'll link below. It's a fair that's very artist-centric and artist-oriented, and what I mean by that is a lot of independent curators can apply, a lot of artists can apply, and in combination with international galleries, which is really, really unique. So it's not elitist, and also any independent curators that apply get a free booth. Yes, you heard me right, a free booth. And this is kind of unheard of in the art world. I know that with a lot of fairs, especially bigger, like really, really prominent fairs, I think galleries pay upwards of like $10,000 to $15,000, maybe even $20,000 for a booth. So that's just out of the question, obviously, for an independent artist like me or a lot of my friends. So this fair is an opportunity to apply. So initially when I went through the process, I thought that I needed to have a curator to apply on behalf of me, and so I reached out to Claire. She said no, she's just really focused on her stuff, which I understand. And then I reached out to my dear friend Robert Telenik, the director at the Art Students League, and I thought we would be a good fit because we're very close. But honestly, he's super busy, and the classes at the league start that week. So he's like, I'm so sorry, don't kill me, I can't do it. And I'm like, no problem. Now when I receive a no or something like that, I don't really read it as negative. Actually, I read it more so, okay, what's the new direction that the universe is guiding me in? Not to be too intergalactic and out there in outer space, but where am I being guided? You know, so I'm starting to get curious. You know, I'm not taking this as a universal no, you shouldn't be applying to this show. And then I reached out to my friend Paul Solomon. He's a professor at Western Michigan University, and we've worked together for like 6 years, meaning 1 to 2 times a year he'll invite me to speak in his direct encounter with the arts class at Western Michigan. So I thought, because he's written about my work in a scholarly sense, he's actually publishing a book where I'm in chapter 10, I believe. So I was just like, hey, and he read it over, but honestly, he just moved to New York. He's super busy. So, you know, honestly, none of this I took to heart. None of this I took personal. These are my friends who clearly support me. These are some of my best friends. So I was just kind of like, well, shit, man, I'm getting all these no's. You know, what is the universe trying to tell me? Is it trying to give me a little left hook, right hook? So I go on the Spring Break art page and I read the print a little more closely, and what I discover is that artists can actually apply as curator and curate themselves into a show. It just can't be a solo show. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna run with this. I'm gonna apply and I'm gonna curate myself into the show. So I am taking full control, and it actually felt really good. It felt liberating. I was like, you know what? This is kind of what I actually wanted to do anyway. I decided, you know, I'm just gonna take the reins, and I asked 3 different artists, and I'm not going to reveal who these artists are now, but I'm really freaking excited about it because these 3 artists are exciting, they're relevant, their work is youthful, invigorating, And I just feel like we're gonna mesh together really well. So altogether it's 4 of us. The spaces are 10 by 10 feet approximately for independent curation spaces. And the submission fee, I submitted late, so the fee was $150, and the early fee or the regular fee is $100. So divided between 4 artists, I mean, it was $37.50, big deal for a submission. And we do not get that submission fee back. I'm pretty sure that just goes towards the cost of funding the fair. And if our curation is accepted, we have to pay a $500 deposit and that covers security, Wi-Fi, stuff like trash pickup and everything. And then I think, fingers crossed, we would get a part of that deposit back. Other than that, the actual space is free. And what I really like about this fair is it's fun, really fun. Like, if you've never been to an art fair, I suggest going to spring break first, because it's not stuffy at all. It's like you go there and it's very interactive in a lot of senses. There's like stickers, there's installations that you can touch or work with, and it's exciting. There's fully painted walls, wild installations. I remember last year there was a cave that you could go in by Nari Ward, I believe. You can dress funky, and oh my God, what am I gonna wear? So anyway, we find out at the end of the month if the submission is accepted, so I will obviously definitely keep you updated. I'm already moving and acting as if my submission has been accepted. And this new rug painting over here is going to be in it. Yes, baby. So I have so much work to do because I have to finalize these works in like 2 weeks. My #1 goal is to get the rug painting done and dusted and ready to go, so I can have it photographed by that deadline. And yeah, the fair is gonna be early September, and basically someone has to be on call or on the premises for the entirety of the show. But I digress in all of this. I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that if you're receiving multiple no's, if you received 1 no and you're just feeling discouraged, don't let that discourage you. Just look into what can be done. Look into other options. Understand that the universe is merely trying to guide you in a different direction into the right direction. And if something doesn't work out, God forbid I don't get accepted into this show, that's fine. I'm still gonna complete the works, and maybe I can reach out to someone else and have an exhibition somewhere else during art fair week, you know what I mean, or art fair month. So yeah. I just wanted to jump on and let you guys know that it is a beautiful, gorgeous, rainy day here in Kalamazoo. And I just feel like this weight is off my shoulders because I've been thinking about this application process for the last 2 weeks, or no, sorry, for the last like month and a half, 2 months. Being a curator is really involved. I kind of like the role of being an artist because I just love that process of art making. There's a lot that goes behind curation. There's a lot of wrangling. There's a lot of information to get, formatting, layouts. I had to do an entire show layout of all the artists' work. And it was a lot of brain power. Like, I was just thrashed by the end of yesterday. So, but I feel like my writing is really solid. I feel really proud of what I've done. And where's my imaginary hat? Because I am acting as curator for a minute. So, anyway, all right, so I'm gonna work on this rug. What's new? And I'll keep you guys updated. My submission just got accepted into Spring Break Art Fair. My work and 3 other artists is going to be exhibited in the New York City Spring Break Art Fair 2021 motherfuckers. I don't know how to express this feeling. I feel like I just found out about 15 minutes ago, so I actually called everyone I knew. No, I'm just kidding. I called my 2 best friends and my sister and just let them know, you know, what the hell happened, and they're beyond excited for me. I was literally just sitting down at the easel and was just like, oh, I'm just gonna check a couple emails I just got, and I saw the word congratulations and I clicked faster than you could fucking blink. God, I'm so weird right now, I'm sorry. So I've digested the information and I told all of the artists participating in spring break that they were accepted and they're over the moon. Alexis Nunley actually called me in tears, and while she was jumping up and down, which was such a cool moment because I've never really curated before, and so I've decided to put on some actual human clothes rather than pajamas or workout clothes, and I'm gonna go out for a celebration sushi dinner tonight. Holy shit, I'm gonna have to work my ass off before this show because I still have 2 works in progress. And the finalized images are due August 3rd. I really only have a few steps left in each to get them to that point. I'm just beyond thrilled. And I talked to my friend Tamara. She's got a place in Queens that she's just not staying in right now because her work is paying for a Manhattan apartment for her. And so we're gonna have a place to stay. And I just in this moment, I just feel like the universe is holding me and I'm allowing her to hold me, and I don't feel guilty, and I don't feel, yes, I'm joyous, but I'm like, I understand that this is just a part in the path, even though I am gonna celebrate this small yet huge win. I don't know, I just feel like everything that I've been practicing, all of my yogic practices particularly, and also of course I've been painting, and I did put a lot of work into the submission and everything, but I feel like because I'm really meditating on this inner joy and abundance, I feel like the universe is responding in this way. And of course it's not without action, but I feel like that's just a huge part of this vibration that's coming in my direction right now at this time of my life. So for anyone who might be frustrated or you're getting rejection after rejection after rejection, believe me, I'll link a rejection video under this one. I've gotten so many rejections in my career, and honestly, the more rejections you're getting, kudos to you, because that just means you're trying harder, you're putting yourself out there, not even just trying harder, but you're trying. Which I guess essentially means you're trying harder maybe than some other people, but so congratulations to you for putting yourself out there, because that's what matters. And like, I just feel so thrilled that when I opened my inbox today, it said that my submission has been accepted. So just to read the words, congratulations, you know, I've honestly been visualizing that, and I've been putting my body and my soul in this frame of mind that I've already been accepted, and now here it is, and I just feel like, yes, what a moment, what a moment. Good morning, good afternoon. Today I'm going to be stretching the rug, yeah, baby. So here is the finished product. As you can see, this is the front side, and then this is the back side. So you can see this rug actually took me a little over a month with very consistent work to finish. And it definitely wasn't for the faint of my heart. So as you can see, my technique definitely improved. This is where I ended up. And this is some of the earlier. So it does look a little bit different on front, but I decided that it's really not enough. Like, it doesn't look different to the point where I feel like I need to redo that whole section of darker green. So as you can see, I kind of set up some older works up in here, which they look so cool. It's so nice to reconvene with works and pull them out. It's kind of like visiting with an old friend. These are some works that I have for sale right now, so if you see anything you're interested in, just let me know. But I digress. I'm gonna be stapling this to the frame. All right, here's the finished rug. And it's pretty heavy. I'd say this is about 5-6 pounds of yarn. So here we are. This is the rug unstretched. And yeah, totally 1960s palette inspired. I'm so happy that I shared this process from start to almost finish. And then I will show you a little bit of the easel here in just a moment. And Blair actually custom built this frame over here, which I'm pretty excited about. So this is wood that he already had around. And so basically I'm just gonna wrap the rug around because I left about 3 inches, remember, on the sides of the rug. So I'm gonna wrap those around to the back, and then I'm gonna reinforce with just strips of random towel fabric, just to reinforce it because those fibers are really thin. This painting is almost done, and this is the wood cutout that's gonna go in the center of the rug. So you can see it is nearly done. I just have some darks and some lights to add on here and some further details, but I'm really happy with the way it's looking, and I think it's just gonna turn out to be such a joyful, fun piece. And I don't know, I just couldn't be more thrilled about it because a lot of people say that my work is darker in a lot of senses, and you know, a lot of people might be right about that, but only with certain works. You know, I think especially with earlier work, but I'm moving into a more joyous space, and it feels really good. And I don't necessarily think that exploring darker subject matters is dark in itself. It's kind of like when Buddhists meditate on death on a daily basis. So death in itself isn't bad because it's a theory and we don't really know what happens after we pass away. And death can be one of our greatest teachers because knowing that there's a finite, you know, amount on whatever we perceive as life can really help us live an extraordinary life. I'm gonna rock out to some music, and I'll put on a time lapse here for you so you can see how I'm going to be affixing this rug to the frame. And I consider this piece a total success so far. I never really had done anything like this. And if you do steal my idea, please at least give me credit, okay? So my Instagram is @Julia_Ha, okay? So don't be a total jerk, you know. Here it is, stretched on the frame, and as you can see, under each edge is just this old scrap towel I had because I wanted some reinforcement here. And this is the back, so it has a nice tension. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put like a back brace in the middle, and then that will allow for the painting to be affixed. It is now August 11th, and my frames just arrived today for spring break. This behind me, between this box and this box, is probably about, I think, between $450 and $500. So yeah, framing is definitely not cheap, but obviously it's worth the investment because it just really displays your work beautifully, and yeah, it's a no-brainer. So anyway, I went with my classic company, which is Westfall Framing. They're based out of Florida, and actually the director of the Illinois State Museum recommended them to me when I did my exhibition at the museum in 2013. Actually, no, I think it was 2014. I trusted his recommendation, and I have never looked back. So if any of you are artists out there and you need framing that's affordable and high quality, please order from Westfall Framing. For the smaller works on paper, I used to have a framer in Chicago, but obviously I'm not based there right now. I decided to try this company called frameiteasy.com. Okay, the name is super cheesy, so let's just get beyond that. I'm about to do the unboxing and see if the frames are actually worth it. Okay, first thing I notice is I like the packaging because it looks like they really paid close attention to how they packaged it. It's really nice. I actually might save this box because it looks high quality. I also like that it's made in the USA, and you know, these really tight bands are on the outside to keep the integrity of the box. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these puppies off. That's very satisfying. And of course I have my box knife here. I really hope these are good because for the price, oh my God. Oh, and just for word of wise, it actually is very easy to use this website. Like, their name is totally truthful, because what I did was I just plugged in the size of my artworks on paper, and then they actually calculated what would be considered a good mat size for the edge, which was 1.5 inches, because my pieces are pretty small. They're like 9 by 12 and 12 by 16. So here in this box, I got three 12 by 16 frames and one 9 by 12. And then basically what you do after that is you just choose what frame you want. Of course, I always go for natural woods because I feel like that's the classiest. And the theme I'm going for my works at spring break is a whitewashed wood. So with these specific frames, they actually had a white stained wood. Oh, yes. Okay. First thing I'm seeing here is a cleaning cloth. All right, another beautiful thing I'm noticing right off the bat is look at this hardware. They put fucking hardware on here for me. Not only did they put hardware on there, they put D-rings on there. So I could actually take this hanging wire off, which in a lot of cases, in some cases, is considered unprofessional in a museum setting. And then you can just turn this D-ring up and then hang it with the D-rings. Look at these frames. Look at the stain. Oh, this is killer. Not only that, they have protective coverings on the front. One thing I would change, this is just so minor, is I would just have these frames a museum depth. Once I get all these framed, I can actually just boop, put them right back in the way they are and then transport them to New York like that. Here's a progress shot of my urn. Look how beautiful she's looking. I refer to a lot of my works as she's. I don't know why. They just have a gender sometimes. Some might say that looks a little bit dark, you know. Well, it is an urn, so. Rounding the home stretch with the urn. So the greens are really coming through.
Action.
I'm in spring break art fair. You know how that makes me feel? I want to go up into a rainbow, baby. Woo!
It is August 19th and I'm just hopping on here because sometimes this process seems endless. I just got done laying on the couch for an hour and 15 minutes because I had an early morning client, and then I wolfed down an entire can of tuna, and then after a hot sun walk today. So now I'm up. I've got double shot latte here. My acne is looking a little bit better. Not that you want to know. But okay, so I just wanted to hop on and say that even when the process feels endless, even when you're feeling tired, even when you have allergies and you're slapped in the face and you've been getting rejection after rejection. I just got other rejections this month, you know. Even though I'm showing in spring break, I got denied from a show at Jonathan Ferrara Gallery, curated in part by Beth Rudin to Woody, who actually curated me into that show a few years ago. And then I got rejected from, I believe it was the Hopper grant or something. I might have to correct myself on that later, but whatever. I open up the email, I read it, and then I click it out because I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with that information? You know, just keep moving along, you know? What else am I supposed to do? Even when you're feeling tired, even when you're feeling beat down, you know, this is the universe that's just giving you test after test after test and pushing you, nudging you in the direction that you should be going. So with every no, take that as a yes in a different direction and just keep rolling on. It's so much easier said than done because fucking hell, guys, I'm 39 years old. I have been grinding like a motherfucker out here for like over a decade. And you know, sometimes I look at my career and I'm like, man, I could be so much farther. Man, there's other artists in their 20s who are like light years beyond me when it comes to, you know, like maybe showing with an established gallery. Or I felt like, and I'm not making excuses, but I felt like a lot of times in my career, I've just had to work harder than other people, and I don't know why that is. And I think in part because I'm not cool. My work has never really been classified as cool, even though some people would look at me and be like, yeah, you're pretty cool. but I don't feel cool. Like, I don't feel like my work is fashionable per se. And I'm not saying this to complain. I actually feel fine with that because, you know, I'm hoping and trusting in the universe that my work simply has longevity and people will understand it. And if they don't understand it now, that they will understand it one day. And I know sometimes to all my women out there, to all my trans out there, to all my non-binary folks out there, talking directly to you, to all my Black, Latino, Hispanic people out there, people who feel undervalued, or okay, anyone who's non-white male, okay? Okay, you know I'm joking, come on, I'm partially joking. We just have to be out here, we have to be out here, and you know, so in any time that you might be feeling like you have to work harder than other people, that's fine. Take it as a blessing. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk often says that, you know, it's a blessing when you didn't grow up in a rich family, because rich people always have a chip on their shoulder, you know? So if you were handed something, or especially if you were given success when you were too young, that might end up being a chip on your shoulder, and it might be to your detriment later on in your career. Whereas if you're really, really hustling and grinding and making this name for yourself, that's everything. That's everything. It's like what Patti Smith said about your name, you know? Protect your name. And I'll put her quotation right here because I love it so much, and I think about this all the time. Protect your integrity, protect your name, don't sell out. Never do anything for money, you know. My sister and my family, God bless their hearts, you know. God bless their hearts. They're always like, why don't you paint flowers? Okay, I could paint the hell out of some flowers. I could paint all day long, but it doesn't fulfill me, you know what I mean? And I'd rather not sell a work for a couple years and not paint flowers, because that doesn't like provide anything of value to me. Oh, I didn't even expect to go on this rant, but I just was feeling tired, and I just wanted to jump on here and talk about the process that just seems endless. And you know, with any success in life, whatever you perceive as a pinnacle of success, once you reach that, then what? Because it's not like your life just ends. You have to keep going. You have to set the bar higher continuously. So, you know, say you got into the art fair of your dreams, like big deal, so what? Now what? You know, what's the next step? The next step is and always will be that you have to keep creating work. That's it, end of story, point blank. You have to keep creating. Mostly just because it's an innate desire. It's something within us as artists, you know, we just have to fucking keep going, you know? And this is basically just me, even though I'm talking to you, giving myself a pep talk as well. So with that being said, let's see where we're at with the journey. As far as spring break, it is almost August 20th, which is the deadline for the urn. So I have to put finishing touches on the urn today. I'm gonna put gold teardrops in the background, or teardrops Swarovski crystals, haven't decided. And then I'm also staining the frames. I also restretched this guy today, and you can see it's got a lot less of a bounce here, so that's awesome. Yeah, restretching, whew. So let's come on outside into the backyard, and I will show you where I'm at with this process, which is I have not even started today. It's already 1 o'clock, or no, it's probably about 1:30. But anyway, this is the stain, and I'm just using some leftover stain that Blair used for a project with my sister. And it's a silver gray, semi-transparent, number 282, Minwax wood finish, penetrating stain. So basically what you do is you just brush it on with one of these guys, and then let it sit there for about 5 minutes, and then brush it off with a cloth. And then I'll obviously share with you guys once this is done. So this is one of the final steps in getting the pieces prepped for the show. I'm just awaiting Noah Becker's paintings because he's living in Canada right now, and he's actually shipping them from Canada rolled up. So I told Noah to ship me the pieces rolled up and along with the stretcher bars. So he just purchased the stretcher bars in his hometown, and then I'm just gonna stretch them for him. So one of the pieces I think is really big. I'm gonna have to stretch that on site at spring break, and then the other two are a little bit smaller, and I think I could do that here, and then they'll fit just fine in the van. So I think we're heading out here August. We have to watch the dog for my sister, and then we're gonna head out August 31st. I wanted to see my mom before we go. And then we're gonna drop Butterball off at the grandparents, which is Blair's parents, upstate New York. And then we're gonna head down to New York City and get the show set up the 3rd through the 5th. So I've got to get to staining these paintings. Thank you so much for watching this process, getting ready for spring break. And I think this video might be getting a little bit long because I've been filming footage for it for the past 2 months, literally. So thanks for sharing this journey with me, and I'll be sure to share more of the process of what it's like to get ready for an art fair in the next coming up videos. And then of course, you know it, I'm taking you with me to New York, babies. So I'm gonna show you how we're gonna be packing the van with the artwork and just getting it all the way to New York. It's gonna be such a journey. Butterball's gonna come with us, I think, as long as Blair's parents are there upstate New York. And then maybe some of the setup glimpses. I'm gonna be very, very busy, so I'm not sure how much I'm gonna wanna set up the camera during that process, but I'm also thinking about painting one of the walls a mustard yellow, so we'll see how that pans out. But there's a lot to do. There's a lot of forms to fill out. I have to submit like 3 or 4 forms to spring break art staff and just get some stuff squared away. So I think that's about it, and thank you so much for joining me in this video, and we'll see you in the next one, babies. And if you found any value in this content, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel and join me in this magnificent journey of being a 39-year-old full-time artist going on 57. No, I'm just kidding. Ready for the long haul, baby. Ready for a lifetime filled with art making. It's always been this way, always will be this way. It's part of my nature, and I'm sure because you're here watching, it's part of your nature too. So I'll see you in the next one.